Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local.
But we need to move on to Yep and what you think is interesting, David, about the new AHref's $60 million search engine.
Yeah, another week, another new search engine announced. We didn't get the fully expected search announcement from Apple that many of us were waiting on, but Mike will talk about that in the next segment. But AHref did announce a new search engine, yep.com. I wish I could remember who said this on Twitter, but we'll know that Yep has made it when it stops looking like a typo for Yelp.
That's very funny.
That's definitely that was my reaction when I first saw it on Twitter. But
I suppose the opposite of that is also true, that Yelp will have totally failed one week.
Exactly.
When it looks like a typo for Yelp.
Double-edged sword. But I don't want to make light of this. I actually want to applaud the team at AHref for not just I thought fairly strong MVP. Tim Sulo, I think, who's their CMO, came out and after all the of the TechCrunch coverage and the press release, and wanted to make clear that, hey, this is a work in progress. This is not meant to be our, be all end all. And it is a very good MVP. I think it's the UX is clean. Interestingly, there was a lot of chatter that it looks like what Google used to look like. Yep. So it's very 10 blue links based, which is oddly refreshing to those of us who look at search results every day, and may have some consumer interest as well, especially in categories where universal search just not as useful as it should be, or as accurate as it should be. But it makes, from a product standpoint, it makes sense. AHref has been sitting on a mountain of link graph data now for probably 10 or 12 years, and not that difficult probably to turn that link data into a similar sort of back rub algorithm that Google started with. So why not give it a shot? The interesting hook from a marketing standpoint is not necessarily initially targeted at consumers. The initial hook is that they are going to share revenues with content creators, which seems to sort of pour a little bit of salt in the wound, especially with EU searches, where Google has been forced by the EU to share revenue with certain publishers. AHref is saying, great, we're gonna build revenue sharing agreements as part of the ethos, the reason behind this product, which I think is just a really interesting, unique position for a search engine to take in the market, right? We've seen Neeva and DuckDuckGo sort of focus on privacy. We've seen, I can't even remember the name of it now, but there was a search engine that came out 5 or 6 years ago that was focused on sort of doing good and sharing profits with charities.
Good Search, I think, is the one you're referring to.
Good Search.
And
so now
Brave is using their
NFT
or
coin.
Searcher reimbursement.
There's Ecosia in Europe,
sharing,
which is environmentally supportive. So
there's only so many new hooks out there for a search engine to take, and I thought this was an interesting one from AHref, and I have tried a handful of searches on Yep. I don't think the quality is there yet where I'm willing to switch over, but just kudos for taking a big swing and at least getting on first base, I think, with the release. So
I think that I think it's really healthy that there are these. We went. There was a period of time where search was intensely competitive. And then we went for years without any sort of new blood in the market, with some ankle biters. And now we're seeing more people. People are now starting to feel like, there's an opening here for something new, which I think is really healthy and important. And Google should definitely welcome it because it helps them with these antitrust
cases,
scenarios.
Exactly.
So
Yep is only one click away.
Yeah. But I share your.
So is Yelp, in a different way.
Yelp is only one L away, in fact. I share the sort of nostalgia for the simpler, the cleaner SERP. I looked at it and I thought, oh, there's, I felt a certain kind of relaxation looking at the page, which it's kind of minimalist appeal. The clutter is kind of gone, even as we laud all the innovation that Google is doing on the on the SERP. So I hope.
Also helps that there are not yet any ads, which there will be.
Yes, that's where they're going to get
at
the
some
money
point.
to do the revenue sharing from. So we'll see when that starts showing up. They deserve to be applauded, and hopefully they'll make it self-sustaining. Hopefully it will work. I mean, I feel like there's a B2B search opportunity that has not been taken advantage of. When I'm doing a lot of research in a B2B context, the results are very uneven. There's a lot of data and a lot of information out there that I know exists that is not ranked, that doesn't rank or doesn't rank as well. You get a lot of kind of thin content showing up on page one in Google listicles. So I think there's an opportunity for somebody to build a kind of curated B2B search engine that has better, higher quality information than what you can get on Google. But that's just my little editorial aside.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.